Hi, welcome to the Arcade Repair Tips video series. Today we'll discuss how to put your first arcade toolbox together. This is my first arcade toolbox, and as you can see, it's basically a tackle box that I bought at Walmart. But what makes that neat is that there are all kinds of compartments in here where normally you would put tackle. It's a great place to put different parts and different things that you're going to need. In the bottom you can also store bigger items. We're going to go into those in just a few minutes. Also, you can see that I personalized mine with some arcade stickers and things that I got off of some arcade art and control panels, things like that. Of course, you're going to need some basic tools like screwdrivers, wrenches, hammers, those things you probably already have. We're going to talk about next is some items you may not have currently, but we use a lot when we're repairing our arcade games. The first one is a digital multimeter. You probably are a little bit familiar with these. This one right here, I bought at Lowe's for about $22. And it does just about everything that we need to do. It has separate AC and DC voltages, and also has a continuity tester, which is very important when you're working on arcade games. They usually come in instruction manuals, and maybe we'll shoot a separate video on how to use these. But very important tools, a digital multimeter. This one, again, like I said, I got at Lowe's, about $22. A much better one you can find at Sears, and it's also a top brand called Fluke. And it's also very simple to use. This one is a Fluke 73 series. It has AC, DC, real quick and easy. You don't have a lot of choices there. And then of course there's the continuity, or some people just call it the beep test. And you'll know you'll have it when you can touch the two leads together and you hear a beep like that. It's a great tool to have, a good thing to use. We'll have some details on that later. But anyway, make sure you get a multimeter. One of the first tools we're going to discuss is a set of nut drivers. They kind of look like a screwdriver, but they have an octagon shaped end on there, and a lot of nuts and things use that. Especially you might notice the color on this one. This is a Craftsman. It's red, which means it's a 1/4 inch nut driver. Have a couple of that size. They are used in a lot of arcade games. Of course, you need a whole set. Make sure you get metric and standard sizes. Another thing is a pair of needle nose pliers. I would also get 2 or 3 different sizes, some bigger, some smaller. Man, world's greatest tool right here. We use these a lot for holding things, pinching things, pulling things, you name it in arcade games. We're going to use needle nose pliers a lot. A set of regular pliers, of course, but make sure and look for the long needles, or that's why it's called a needle nose. Also, some wire cutters, which are real simple, but if you're going to work on arcade games, you're going to do a lot of wiring, so you're going to need to do some cutting. And then, of course, you know, you're going to need your regular and your flathead screwdrivers and so forth. But this is a very, very important tool, and it could save your life. This right here is what we have made to discharge a monitor. I know a lot of you guys that are watching this, you've heard the horror stories about being careful and getting shocked by monitors and so forth. We'll go into that more on another video, but for right now I want to show you something very simple. This was a lamp cord that we took, and we put a couple alligator clips on the end, and then you put it in the screwdriver like this. This is all you need to keep from getting shocked on a monitor. Like I said, we'll go into more details later, but I do want to include this in your toolbox. You need to have a lamp cord with 2 alligator clips on the end, and some kind of long, usually an insulated screwdriver is better. But once you do this several times, you'll have it down. Don't spend a lot of money. This works just as well as a high-dollar tool. And of course, when you're working around wires and stuff, you need a way to strip the wires. And there's a couple different brands and different things. I mean, you can spend a lot of money, but these two right here are pretty inexpensive. And so these right here, grab the tool or grab the wire and strip it. You hand me that wire down there. I'll show you how simple it can be. Just to take the end of a wire, twist it, and strip it so that you can use it. This kind right here, Seems like they wear out pretty fast, and you can get them cheap at Harbor Freight, other places. But watch how fast. You just push it on, click, and strip. Now, if you're going to do a lot of wiring, that little speed right there will make a lot of difference. So get you some good wire strippers. You're going to need that also. Another thing that you're going to need is some crimpers. This I got at Radio Shack, and these are about $7 or $8, maybe 10 by now. It's been inflation has gone up quite a bit, but you use these all the time on your connectors, your Molex connectors and things. And you put the wire and you put the connector on there and you squeeze them together. So you definitely need a good set of crimpers, and I highly recommend this kind right here that you get at Radio Shack. And of course, anywhere that you go, Lowe's, Home Depot, Radio Shack, is all going to sell some electrical tape. Do not cheap out on electrical tape. Don't get the cheapest kind out there. This is made by Scotch or 3M. It usually comes in a plastic case, which when you go digging through your toolbox, you know that this is your electrical tape. You can find it easily. Do not get the cheap electrical tape. Don't even think about it. Get it in whatever color you want. Just make sure it's good, good quality electrical tape. And of course, a flashlight. Now this one's a little bit big for that toolbox, but trust me, arcade games are dark and they're damp and everything. You're going to want to see. Also maybe keep some kind of hanging light or something like that. But you're going to need a good flashlight. So make sure that you have a flashlight in your kit. Hey, thanks for watching the Arcade Repair Tips video series on putting your first arcade toolbox together. By all means, if you have any questions or comments, drop us an email or give us a call. Thank you.